had that nobody else in there had. And I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I didn't fit in with everybody else there. Now, trust me, I looked a lot more like them than I do everybody in this room. And I felt a very strong feeling that I did not fit in with everybody that was around me. So I'm like, walking through them, and I think, maybe 5-10 minutes, whatever, something like this passed. I ate a chicken nugget and went away, right? But it was so strong and so impactful that it made me, all of a sudden, it just gave me a boost. And that boost led me back to going to the Christian center I was involved in, the gospel mission. And after this, I became very involved. During the summers, I started working as an intern. I got smicha, I became a junior missionary, everything. And now I'm starting the Makar. Half of my high school was going to every single program, every single club thing that they're having there for this. And I devoted myself to this day and night. And I became the poster child for the Union Gospel Mission. There were billboards of me. And I was in the Christian magazines for the private schools, the Catholic colleges, and everything. And I was like, on my way. I was going to be the next Bill Page or something. T.D. Jakes, I don't know what it was going to be. I know you don't know them this type of meeting. But I was on my way, And I felt, for me, there was just one major thing that they wanted me to take on as a part of my next step, my next role of leadership, and that was to join a solid church that I can go to, because up until now, there was no way in the world that I was going to devote all my time to going to church, because NFL happens on Sundays. That was one of my major things. It was like, I told God I can give him every day of the week, but Sundays is off limits. I can't do it. So, going into my 11th grade year, probably the biggest and the greatest thing that ever happened to me is the summer I met my wife. She came into my life, and more than anything, there's a lot of beautiful things and a lot of beautiful attributes to my wife. But I think the greatest thing for me at the time, at least, the way that I knew that she was the one, is that she was a 7-day Adventist and she went to church on Saturdays. So because of that, I knew for sure that she was the one for me. So time went on, we grew, and my music started to become even much more of a passion for me. And it just so happened that a demo of mine made it to the table of A&R at Virgin Records, right? I have to give you an example of how spiritual I was, because you're not, maybe the billboards are different things than tell you. My junior missionary card, my smicha doesn't do it for you. I remember one day, it was very early in the morning actually. And we got up early because we had a track meet and I wanted to get there. I think maybe I had a test to finish at school. And for whatever genius reason, I stayed all the way across town at my cousin's house. And so I needed to get a ride back to school to get there early, finish this test so I could make it whatever for the track meet. And we're in our car and we're just riding, and just all of a sudden, we just noticed several minivans now. It's very unusual for Seattle. I mean, there's people there, family people are there, but it's not the 510s, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at all these minivans, Honda Odysseys, whatever. We'll talk about that later, everybody. But, so I noticed all these minivans surrounding us, and we're all thinking it's weird, and we're just like, God, there's a lot of vans. All of a sudden, the lights start to flicker, and they're going off in the minivans, and all of a sudden, these guys jump out and they have guns, and they're pointed at us. And so they're screaming, they yell out the badge, U.S. Marshals, U.S. Marshals, U.S. Marshals. So I'm thinking, I've done a lot of things in my life, but I didn't warrant the U.S. Marshals. So it turned out that the car we were in was in the name of my uncle, and the U.S. Marshals were looking for him. And since his name was registered on the car, they pulled us over, and they've been following us, whatever the whole story. So we get out, we give in our ID, and I have a warrant on my driver's license for a failure to appear in court from 3.5 years ago, when I was a knucklehead before my Christian camp days. It was a case even that I was told that it was completely thrown out. There was a witness there that said I didn't do anything. I was one of those things, I was in the wrong place, wrong time with the wrong person. And so everything got thrown out to my knowledge, but all of a sudden I had a failure to appear in court, something I never knew about. So the police come, they called the local police, and they come and they arrest me, and they take me to juvenile. And they put me in the orange jumpsuit and everything like that. And I remember walking in, and these kids were crazy. You understand? Crazy. And I'm looking around, and kids screaming and biting and busting their heads. It's like insane asylum, walking into this place. And I remember, even by the time I got to my cell, I felt such a peace and such a calm. I'd been talking to God from the moment I had handcuffs on me all the way until the time I got into the juvenile. And by the time I hit my cell, it was like there was such a calmness inside of my soul, inside of my spirit. Like with all the chaos, everything that was going on. I remember seeing down by the bed, there was this little stool there. There was a Bible. Also was a toilet. But back then, there was no halakhic issues with that. So I picked up the Bible, and I start reading it. And I'm going back and forth, pacing inside this place. And I can't begin to describe the hana that my soul felt, that I felt inside in the peace. I can't even do it justice. And I remember in the next morning, there was a buzz at the door, and they told me I had a visitor. So I ended up going upstairs with the guard, and I walk into the room, and I'm waiting for whoever this visitor is. The visitor comes in, and it's my counselor from the Union Gospel Mission, a man by the name of John Reed. He comes in, and he looks at me, and he starts cracking up. He's laughing so hard. And he's laughing so hard that I start laughing with him. I don't even know what he's laughing about. So he's laughing, I'm laughing, we're laughing back and forth. And finally, he calms down and stops. And then I said, well, why are we laughing? What are we laughing about? And he said to me, you remember, over the last few weeks, you've been telling me that you just wanted to spend time with God alone. He said, be careful what you pray for.